everybody, it's Romania Black, and we're starting season 2 of Windbreaker! I'm so excited, y'all! Look, I have a ton of comments from episodes 11 and 12 to talk about with you all. We'll talk about episode 13 next week. But I have a lot of comments to talk about with you all, and we have a bingo card to go over. So this is going to be a long introduction. Y'all already understood that that was the case. We're not going to be watching the OP or the ED right now for this episode. So it will come, don't worry. The mods have already talked to me about it. We're going to be skipping the OP and the ED, so that'll save us a little time. But I'm so excited! Season 1 of Windbreaker was fantastic. It was one of my favorite series. It's a comfort show. I look forward to watching it, and taking a week off was really hard. So, I'm glad that we're over that. So, we're going to be starting episode 14, season 2, episode 1, but we've got some things to talk about before we dive into that. The first thing we need to talk about is the comment section. So, I'm going to have timestamps in this video because I feel like it's going to be a long video. So, Black Widow Queen says for episode 11, Suge seems to be our obligatory Kansai Bin character of the franchise. I can recognize Kansai Bin from a character in Haikyuu that uses it, but that's good to know for them. Cisco Kid for episode 11, Cisco Kid 1214 says, wrestling nerd here. All the wrestlers I recognize in the episode are first the 2 cardboard cutouts from the outside that were clearly modeled after Hulk Hogan and Stone Cold Steve Austin. Now, see, those are wrestlers I recognize because I watched WCW wrestling on Monday nights with my father after football growing up as a kid, so I know exactly what that's like. I can only recognize 2 of the masks, which are Pentagon Jr. and Japanese wrestler Tiger Mask. Another cardboard cutout I recognize is Kazuchika Okada. The guy is actually married to an anime voice actor. I don't know which one. I just know that she voices someone in a series. And in the posters, all I see are Mill Mascaras and Atlantis. The author most likely really likes Atlantis. He copy and pasted the same picture of him multiple times. Yoon Akiyama. And in the TV, I'm not sure, but seems they were watching an Antonio Inoki match from the 80s or 70s. That's so cool! I also like the idea of this series kind of showing like retro wrestling, retro shows on the TV. It gives me very much like a vibe of a small town that would be showing reruns of a show on the TV station. That's really cool. Love that. Thank you for that information, Cisco Kid. All the little intricate details in this series make it so much fun, and I adore it. Sid for episode 11 says, Blushy Sakura is so adorable. Did you know someone made a compilation video of all the time Sakura blushed in season 1, and it was more than 8 minutes long? That's insane. But I love it. The fight choreography helps to speak to how the characters are a la Umamiya. I love it. I love how that all comes together. And then they were talking alongside Algumalgum about Suge's voice actor being Kingo Kawanishi. He voiced Rei from March Comes In Like a Lion, which is so wild because Rei and Suge, their personalities cannot be more different. Muichiro from Demon Slayer, Hoshino from Kaiju Number 8. I don't know that show, so that's some of these I don't know, so I'm going to skip those. If they're shows I haven't watched on the channel, probably shouldn't be telling me who those voice actors are. Just FYI. Kiryu is voiced by Toshiyuki Toyonaga, who does Yuri Katsuki from Yuri on Ice. Okay, I can hear that voice, 100%. Chang Xiaoxi from the Japanese dub of Link Click. Haiji from Run With the Wind. Yes, I forget that Haiji and Yuri are like the same voice actor. I wish you would talk more then, because I love Haiji's voice in that series. And then some others from series that I have not watched, but they also play Kazuki from Buddy Daddies and Tanizaki from Bungo Stray Dogs. Asahi from Free, love that. And then Shirabu from Haikyuu and Lahan from Apothecary Diaries. Nice. Algumalgum for episode 12 and episode 11 also had some translation things they wanted to talk about. They said that Kaji's voice actor is Himmel in Frieren, and someone else mentioned this too, but Bakugo from My Hero Academia, God, the range of this man, it's crazy. Inamoto, I didn't mention his previous works from last time because I haven't watched any, but I saw you've seen Haikyuu, and he voiced a couple characters from there, including Rentaru. Oh, okay, and Nurukawa. Nice. Next, the names Narai introduces the curry in Kurita, means chestnut. Nashi and Takanashi means pear. Kaki and Kakiuchi means persimmon. And the an in Anzai means apricot. Okay, Anzai also is voiced by the same actor that voices Aki in Chainsaw Man. Oh, interesting. Okay. All right. Well, that I would not have recognized that voice, so that is good to know. Algae Malgoom also said that there's a plant check-in for names in episode 11 for characters focused on in the episode. The second years are indicated by their name tags when they arrive. Suge means wild mulberry. I could see that. The key in Kiryu's name refers to the princess tree known as the empress tree or foxglove tree. Definitely can see that. The Ino and Inomoto means Japanese hackberry. The Kusu and Kasumi refers to the camphor tree. And lastly, Kaji is actually two plant references. Kaji refers to paper mulberry, or also to an oar or a rudder, while Rin means lotus. I could see lotus being tied to Kaji. I also like the rudder or oar because Kaji kind of drives the second years. So him being a rudder, like driving the boat, I could see that being the thing that gets them going. I like that symbolism. Y'all know I'm a sucker for symbolism. So that's awesome. Thank you, Algae Malgoom. Sunspots for episode 12 says, maybe the bingo prize can be the friends we met along the way. That's what it's going to be. I don't know if there's going to be a prize for bingo. I'm going to give myself a prize if we get a bingo or a blackout. I'm going to give myself a prize, but I don't know what else that will entail, so we'll just have to see. That's really funny. Irenaeus, I hope I said that right, for episode 12 says, Kaji became my favorite character instantly. He completely broke my negative bias against characters with anger issues. Not self-absorbed, not rude, and not the type who looks down on others just because life was cruel to him. Instead, he's respectful, dependable, and genuinely makes an effort to manage his anger while creating a safe space for the people around him. On top of that, he's observant about the things that truly matter and has this awkward, understated wisdom. He's kind of a leader that I would follow. Also, yeah, he's hot. I will agree about the hot thing, but yes, please, snaps for that. I really love this series because all of these characters at Beaufort are outsiders. So you would imagine they're delinquents with anger management issues, but they're finding ways to work together and handle it in different ways. I am 1,000 times for how Kaji is represented in this show. It's amazing. Via Victoria Martin says, they should really give Risa-chan the, quote, you're a household cat, not a stray cat lecture. Like, sweetie, jumping into a river, you're giving poor grandma too much stress and anxiety. I also liked, whenever I read that comment, I thought about, as I was replying, I was like, oh, I want to talk about this. I didn't talk about it in the discussion for episode 12, but Risa also being the quote, the line that Thea says there as you're a house cat, not a stray cat, could directly apply towards Beaufort to Sakura and Kaji. Y'all think that you're stray cats that don't have a home, but you do. So quit running around being crazy and come here in the house and help get things in order. The fact that that's kind of symbolic of that is, it blew my mind a little bit. And I was like, oh, okay, we need to talk about that. So thank you for bringing that up. And then Salieri for episode 12 has a pretty significant comment here saying, I like this about Windbreaker. To the point, the narrative of the story really focuses on showing a lot of people just have problems. And it's very important that they need support and help and time to cope instead of just over criticizing. There will never be any self-progress and self-change due to hate. People need other people to work on themselves. It's hard to do when you're sure there's no place for you in this world. One thing that's important to me as a transgender person, or non-binary trans, but still trans nonetheless, Kota has said, and I will quote the manga translation I have open now because it's literally the same as what it was in the anime, just learning someone's name is something you can do. And once you've got their name down, you have to start using it. Calling someone by their name is a declaration of acceptance that you are seeing them for who they are. Just like it's important in everyday life, but from the perspective of a trans person with different legal name and chosen name, living in a country that changing my name legally wouldn't be so easy. I live in a country with a very gendered name system, and changing my name to a different name that is gender neutral or another gender that I don't have in my documents would always nearly result with refusal. It's something that's so important because what Kotoha says is 100% true. Learning someone's name and using it towards them is a declaration of acceptance of who they are. And for a lot of people, it's a lot harder than you may think. when it's only using a name. I think that it can be very important for people with names very hard to pronounce or names deeply related to their heritage, culture, and history, especially when we talk about people like immigrants, refugees, minorities, indigenous people, etc. Using their names as accepting them for who they are in the world. That usually wants to erase them. It's like saying, you are here and I see you. I just think the world would be a better place if we started recognizing other people as well, people, and as other humans that deserves respect. That makes me so emotional, and like I'm trying not to cry as I read that, but Salieri, I really appreciate you explaining that and saying that because it's so true, and I will to this day never understand why people are so prejudiced against others for wanting to just be their authentic selves. I don't understand it. It will not make sense to me. You can try to make it make sense to me, but it just does not make sense except letting people have rights and be who they are, and just, it's not your business if they want to go by a different name or appear different than what you perceive them as. That's not for your job to interpret or to judge or anything. So, I couldn't say anything better myself about that, so thank you. I won't. I can't. No crumbs. No crumbs, no comment, just absolute 1000% yes. So thank you so much. I realize that I probably have comments about episode 13 from Patreon that I need to talk about, but I'm going to save those for next week, along with the YouTube comments, so we can just dive into episode 13 all at once as we get into this episode. But I want to talk about the bingo card instead, because over on Patreon as well as on YouTube in my community post, there is a bingo card that you can print out and follow along with us, because bingo is fun. And I was thinking of some bingo to play along with this. So I'm going to show it up here for you all. We're going to go through this real quick before we start the episode. But basically, the little sunshine in the middle is the obvious free card. Everybody gets that one. It's a freebie for this. I've also got it pulled up out here to the side as we go through the episode. So the first line, Sakura blushes, should be easy enough. Suo, elegant fight moves. We see that occasionally. A Narai freak out. Seems legit. A handshake or a hug. Because those need to happen. Katoa serves food. That's the first line of the bingo card. The second line is a non-OP or ED garden shot. We get garden shots a lot. We got garden shots a lot in the OP and ED for season 1. We're going to look for some that aren't in the actual episode themselves. So there's that. A new character backstory. Abs on display. That one should be easy. I put that in a weird spot because I'm like, we're probably going to get that every episode. An antagonist shipped with Sakura. That'll probably happen this season. A brawl takes place. That's probably going to happen this episode we're about to watch. Torn clothing. Sakura flying kick. Kaji is sassy. I determine Kaji in any mode that's talking to being sassy. Umemiya jumps at Katoa. A character dirt face. Wind chime symbolism, which means that we see a wind chime or there's some reference to it or something like that. Hiragi takes stomach medicine. Sakura gives a piggyback ride to somebody, whether it's a townsfolk or someone else. Bofrin aids said townsfolk. That's also going to be on there. Then Sugi grumpy face. Sakura backstory moment. These are also my wish list of things I want to happen. A new gang appears. Bloody knuckles. And then Sakura is praised. So this is going to be our bingo card. We're going to see how long it takes before we get a bingo. I don't imagine it's going to be long, but that's just, you all can follow along too, and we'll see what we get with that bingo card. But yeah, I'm so excited, y'all. We need to not waste any more time though and start this second season. I'm so excited. Anyway, so we're going to get started here with season 2. Again, we're not watching the OP or ED. I know when I'm supposed to watch them, and it's not today, but that's okay. We're going to start this episode here in 3, 2, 1, and I'll see you all on the other side. Okay. Season 2 did not come to play. Season 2 did not come to play. Oh my God. Wow. That was an episode. I'm super excited about season 2 already. I was wondering, I was like, okay, we're ending, season 1 ended off at the perfect point where it was just like, okay, we're ending off at the perfect spot. The boys are all together. We're going to go take on this gang that's not too big. And then we immediately start season 2. I thought I missed an episode. I thought I had accidentally clicked on the wrong episode. I'm like, did I click on the right one? No, they just started from Narai's perspective as the fight's going on, and then we did the backtrack to getting to it. It was great. It was brilliant. I loved it. Showing things ain't gonna be easy. Just because Sakura got a little ego boost, things are not gonna be easy. And I like that it's a good callback to last episode when Kaji and Inamoto and then we're watching them walk away. They're probably like, we're gonna tag along and just make sure that they don't get into trouble. You know how it goes. Love that. Love that. So we're gonna look at our bingo card real quick and see if we got a bingo. Sakura blushing, I do not think happened. I do not think that Suo used his elegant fight moves. He couldn't because of the one next to it, which is the Narai freakout. We did get a Narai freakout, so we've got one there. We've got a Narai freakout there. There were no handshakes or hugs. In this episode, none of that. Nope, no garden shots. I don't believe we got any new character backstories. I consider backstories to be like a flashback arc-esque style. I don't think we got any of those. Were there abs on display? We're gonna look for that, but I don't. This might have been a rare episode. I mean, I guess Anzai, technically, when he went down the stairs, we could count that. We'll see. Here's the thing, we're not getting a bingo going straight down because Harai was not there to take his stomach medicine. A new gang did appear. Keel was there, but whatever. An antagonist ship with Sakura. You know what? I'm a huge shipper, but I don't think Edward Elric, I don't think them and Sakura, I can ship them together. No. A brawl did take place. A brawl did take place. God, was it a brawl. Kaji was sassy. We'll give him that. Did Sakura do a flying kick? I think he did. And I think there might have been some torn clothing. But again, we're not getting a bingo this time around, y'all. I don't think we're getting a bingo at all. None whatsoever. That's crazy. And then any other ones, there were no derp faces. Sugi spoke. When Sugi speaks, that's when you know it's real. That's when you know shit's going down. When Sugi did a damn monologue, I was like, what is happening? But no, Bloody Knuckles, yes, was indeed. No bingo! No bingo this episode! I'm in awe. I am shooketh that there was no bingo this episode. Oh, well, that's good. I made this bingo card thinking it's going to be so easy to get a bingo. Nuh-uh. Not so far, so okay. I do want to start this episode by going over some things. We're not bringing Whiteboard Kun necessarily out because we didn't get there was no time for info because it was just blood. Just blood. So we're going to start this here in 3, 2, 1. I am going to write down some names. I am going to get my little pad of notes and my names here as we're going to get through. I'm going to go over here to the next page. And we're going to just write down members of KEEL. Not that they matter necessarily, but we might as well denote some names while we're here. I do love the opening of this being from Narai's perspective and just seeing everybody, when you see him like grip, when we saw the hand grasp the shirt there, I didn't know if it was Sakura or not, but I'm like, Sakura wouldn't do that. Sakura wouldn't grip his shirt like that. So I was like, who else could it be? And it being Narai is really on the nose. I also like the idea that he just wanted to be part of the fight and he feels like he's not pulling his weight because he's just sitting there. And we've established that they love Narai for what he does, but I don't blame him for being like, I need to be able to defend myself because I'm just being a hindrance to you all and I don't want to be like a damsel in distress through all of it. Bless his heart, look at his little bean face there. Poor Narai. And then the animation, like that shot, oh my God. The animation in this episode was incredible. I was just like gobsmacked at some of the designs. I loved the muted gray tones and grunginess that is this entire episode. It's amazing. I love it. It works so well. It's just God. And then, yeah, when Sakura looks over with his giant, beautiful little cat eyes, his big, just vibrant eyes, and just sees Narai about to get throttled, I don't like seeing Narai like that. I don't like seeing Narai with the little lights in his eyes like that. Nope. I don't like that at all. Not having any of it. No. And then, yeah, Sakura being like, okay. The aspect of the blood on his white eyelashes is such a really cool effect that they did in this episode. It was really well done. Yep. But then, yeah, so then we got the OP. We're gonna be skipping that OP for now and see what we get. But yeah. So, okay. Just to be forewarned, I was told I could not watch the OP until episode 12. So it's going to be literally the season finale. I'm sorry. Tell the studios to quit making their OP spoilery. I'm sorry, but I will get to watch the OP at the end. I'm sorry. It's just my rule as a content creator that doesn't want to be spoiled. Blame it on the edit. But I can look at the OP after episode, or the ED after episode 4. So that's exciting. Sorry. I feel like I'm watching a Chinese Don Mai where I have to wait till the last episode to watch the OP. So, we get established about KEEL that not much is known about them. I only know about as much as Suo does, which is not a lot. That they're a small team that wears a logo similar to a dragon skeleton. Small team, we say. They had a few more than a small team. Its principles and how the team was formed is completely unknown. So, we're walking into the Dragon's Den knowing nothing. But they have borderline criminal activities. They're kind of like the Foot Clan, you know? They kind of remind... Oh my god, yeah! This kind of reminds me of the Foot Clan. If you ever watched the 1993 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, I don't feel like it's, is it spoiling if it's a 30-something-year-old movie? It was one of my favorite movies as a kid, but the Foot Clan... They kind of, you don't really know how many there are. They're pretty unknown, but they do like little borderline criminal activities. Like they steal things, they loot. I mean, it's theft, so it's still a crime, but they don't get too crazy violent except amongst their own ranks. It's basically like they beat each other up to get stronger, which this is giving KEEL, foot, heel of foot. Am I connecting it? I feel like I'm connecting it, but there's, they also use nunchucks and other weapons in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, but there is a scene where they all gang up on one of the Ninja Turtles, and it's a pretty significant moment in the episode, and this episode kind of, the brawl that takes place sort of reminds me of that, so that's fun. Anyway, so they're just relative rumors, we don't know much about them. I wonder what kind of team they are. Well, they kind of seem like assholes. Except for, especially the leader. Like, some of the team members, they're just going along with the leader. The leader is giving vibes of if Choji had just been an asshole. like Choji just had this assumption about being a leader and what it would entail. And so he kind of was putting on this, theatrical production of this is what a strong team does. But that's not really what he fundamentally believed. This guy that's the leader of KEEL, he's just like, F it, I don't care. He's kind of like what I was talking about last season, but I kept thinking Umamiya would meet someone like this, and instead it's Sakura. And Sakura's like, they do this disgusting crap, they're probably pretty twisted. It makes me sick. I also get a lot of Ash Lynx vibes from Sakura in this episode. I'm just saying, not that that's a bad thing. And everybody's just kind of in agreement, yep, you took the words right out of our mouths. But no matter who we're up against, all we gotta do is drag that Nagato dude back. And whoever gets in the way is getting beat to the ground. Sakura is a lot more aggressive than Umamiya. Not that I don't think Sakura needs to be like Umamiya. Nobody can be like Umamiya. But I do think that Sakura, he has a very kind of aggressive, headstrong approach. It's not unlike Kaji, but with Kaji, it's always unspoken. Kaji doesn't have to say what Sakura says in this episode. Kaji just has to be there, and you kind of just get what he's throwing down, right? One thing I do want to note is I really like, Anzai says thanks to everyone. He says for KEEL, even facing one guy, they make sure to gang up on their opponents. That should have been a sign that if they gang up on people, it should be a sign that they wait in the wings and there's always more in numbers. My thing is, based on the little thing at the end that Narai was saying, they have to pay for their own outfits and they're pricey. I'm like, why are they trying to be bougie? Y'all are in a wharf. It smells like fish guts. Why do you care if you're wearing Bellagio or not? like what? Why are you worrying about Gucci if you're in the middle of a fish pit? I don't understand the logic of that, but if it's just trying to have a status symbol, then okay. But yeah, they try to gang up on their opponents. They also raided a local art supply department, took all of the easels that they could find and dismantled them, clearly. They're using bats and planks for bashing. Yeah, the bats, they also raided a Louisville Slugger Museum because there was a lot of bats. There was like a Negan bat from Walking Dead. It was crazy. Looking at the graffiti, I like, what does this say? This says, what does it say? Does it say birate or burate? Interesting. There's a pig and there's just like some random artwork that's on there. I do love how gritty this place looks. It just looks very lived in. There's like flies buzzing around because there's probably dead fish from the wharf. I love how gritty it is. It looks just grungy and dirty. So yeah. And it's not a theater this time. We are literally in a wharf studio, so in just a building. All right. But all of our characters as we go in, I like that there's like PI, it says RIP, but okay. Or it says PIP, so I don't know what PIP is, but there's a halo, like it should be RIP. And then there's the KEEL logo. Pretty cool. I like that Sugi is just like, I'm done. We're just going to get in here. Also, I was like, who is Narai texting? Was Narai texting for backup during that moment? I wonder if Kasumi was texting Narai, because Kasumi seems to be one that has a lot of the contact info. I wonder if Kasumi was texting Narai, and Narai was texting him back being like, here's our location. And that's when Sakura got onto him, but Narai sent out the word to have them come and be backup. That would have been pretty cool. Well, I guess we'll find out next week if that was the case, but yeah. He's like, sorry, but this is, he was getting back up. And then Sugi's just like, screw it. I think Suo appreciates that Sugi just uses his foot and kicks it open. He's like, one way or another, he's just this tall, lumbering man who is just freaking strong. And I think Suo respects that. I think Suo respects the silent but deadly type. Of course, Suge also respects his amazing powers. And Suo's like, yep, he's pretty much Sanji from One Piece. So yeah, the moment they all come in here and there's nobody around except like the 5 guys at the top, I'm like, that doesn't bode well. They're going to have people in the wings. Nuh-uh. We don't get to see this one guy. We don't get to see their faces yet, but he looks like he has dark hair. So I'm curious if we're going to see him next week and what his deal is. Why is he just bullying on Nagato? Poor Anzai. Anzai just wants to save his childhood friend. That's all he's asking for. He ain't asking for much. That just, them using him as a puppet, that was also just brutal. These guys are brutal. Again, I really like the color palette. And then he's like, out of my way, and tries to get past Sakura. And Sakura is just like, no. Sakura's like, hand him over. And he's like, why? No, I'm not going to do that. Again, the animation, the shadows, everything looks amazing in this episode. Now, Sakura's saying, I thought this when he said, I didn't come here to ask for your damn permission, hand him over. I was like, ooh, we are handling our diplomacy a lot different than Umamiya. And a lot different than Kaji as well, which I like that, because Kaji and Umamiya and Sakura are very different, 3 very different people. I feel like it's almost like an ombre effect, which is funny considering the series. I feel like it's an ombre effect where you start out with Umamiya, and Umamiya kind of bleeds into Kaji, and Kaji kind of bleeds into Sakura in terms of their like temper and outspokenness and crassness. I feel like it's just a spectrum, and there's an ombre effect between the 3 of them, which isn't a bad thing, because Umamiya is, I don't know if passive is the right word for it, but sometimes I feel like Sakura and Kaji's approaches might be more effective than Umamiya, and Umamiya knows that. So I feel like there's nothing wrong with how Sakura approaches. It's just very noticeable how different it is. Yeah, these guys don't seem very fazed. In fact, so those are the 5 VIPs. So just like you have Umamiya and the 4 Kings of Bofrin, this guy is the leader of KEEL, and behind him are his 5 VIPs, which I like. So we don't know the leader of the leader of KEEL. We don't know who he is. There are 5 VIPs who have, like, they get the expensive bats. They get the metal bats. They're the hardcore folks. There is something interesting about this team and this gang, and the fact that they all look the same. Like, their pants are different colors, but they have the same style. They all look the same. There's a comment made about it that from Narai at the end that it's not giving us much team unity. I don't know if that's the case. It's not giving as much team support of the individual. Instead, everybody is just like, it's like, we are one, we are KEEL sort of thing. Like, we're the hive mind, we're the Borg, we're all together. It's giving off that vibe, similar to Shishi Torin a little bit, but a little bit more extreme. Yeah, this guy though. Yeah, his dark hair, he looks kind of sinister. I don't like him. Whenever he did this, he was like, nah. All I could think of is Monty Python, the Holy Grail, where the French man on the top, like the King Arthur shows up and he's like, I'm Arthur, King of the Britons. And he's like, I don't care who you are, you silly sod. He's like, your mother was a hamster and your father smelt of elderberries. He's like does that. That's exactly the vibe. That is the exact same vibe. Then Sakura does not take well to that. Sakura's scary faces that he gives in this episode are kind of ridiculously intimidating. I was like, ooh. Yeah, he's like, I'll beat you up and take him back. Like, there is a very young youthfulness to Sakura's aggression that when we get to Kaji's aggression has more bite to it. Like, you're just like, oh, no, not messing with that. Sakura's feels like Sakura's such a softie that he just puts on this front of aggression. But there is a little, like, I don't want to use the word immaturity, but it is kind of that, where it's just like, he's just not as experienced. He's not as seasoned, our boy isn't, but that's still a good look. And then, Narai's like, things are about, I like that you have, everybody's serious in this moment. Narai's freaked out. Suo and Kiryu are like, this is not good. Sugi's like, all right, let's go. And even Sugera is like, ooh, this is not happy go fun times like we thought it was going to be. And I do like his little chibi face where he's like, how scary. Like, I want to know more about this man. I want to know more about him. We're probably going to find out next week. He's like, aren't you guys supposed to be heroes in the town? I guess we have no choice but defend ourselves, which Kaji shuts that shit down. This guy's trying to do some kind of like junior high psychological warfare, and Kaji shuts that shit down so fast. I love it so much. But yeah, I'm also like, they're just first years. The second and third years, even when Kaji and Inamoto and Kasumi show up, you still have the second and third years back in town. They're fine. They don't need them. So it's kind of an insult to KEEL that the first years were sent to take care of you. It's kind of an insult. And I feel like they might have taken it as such as well. But yeah, so they all show up, like Team Magma shows up, ready to go. And they're like, these aren't the numbers that we were told. What part of this is small? And Anzai's like, yeah, I'm sorry that my numbers were off. I'm an English major. Math is not my strong suit. Because yeah, it's what? If we're counting here, if we're doing like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. Let's say there's 40 there, right? There's 40 Bofrin people there. And then you've got like already 50 or 60 more. So, I mean, that's when Suge says, well, we just need to take on 3 or 4 at a time. And this guy's like, okay, sure thing, Jan. Yeah. We'll just hurry on and clear them and get back home. I do like that Kiryu has the sleeves that are similar to the Ghost King from Bofrin. I wonder if there's a connection there, interestingly enough. And every episode, I don't necessarily ship Suo and Sugi, but I kind of support them as a ship because he's always like, oh, Sugi, I'm glad you have more enthusiasm than I expected. Suo always has Sugi's back. Also, can we just make it like a threesome between Narai, Suo, and Sugi since they are the primary colors? Can we do that with the red, blue, and yellow? Can we? But yeah, Suo always has Sugi's back, and he always wants to know what Sugi is thinking. And then Sugi's like, Umamiya would never let guys like that get away with this. That's all you had to say. The moment Umamiya was brought up, everybody rallied. Everybody in Bofrin was like, what he said. Hear, hear. Yes. Like, Sugi, I just love that they paid his voice actor to come in and give like 3 lines of dialogue per season. They're like, this is the easiest money you'll make all year. Oh man. But yeah, the moment he says that, everybody's just kind of like, Umamiya would not stand for this. And that's kind of one of the reasons that gets them riled up. So, anyway, Sakura is like, okay, there's a moment here, right? There is a moment here. And I realize that sometimes Team 4 Stars jokes maybe are a little dated. But I wanted to look up, because I was going to say the joke in the reaction, but I didn't want to get it wrong. Okay, I found the joke. Basically, he's like, all right. He's like, you know what? All of you had better duck, because I'm about to turn left and I don't want to smack you with my dick. And I was like, that's a joke I wanted to say in this moment with Sakura, but I was like, there's no way to properly, Huckleberry, I don't know what to tell you, buddy. Here we go. But I was like, there's no way to say it in the reaction time to make it, I didn't want to get the joke wrong, but that's literally what I was looking at. He's like, you guys can pick up the loose balls if you want. I'm like, well, I like that. So it was like, loose balls. This isn't soccer. He's like, I left Blue Lock voluntarily. So yeah, and then Suge's like, what a great play on words. I'm like, Suge, you do not need to be talking about play on words at all. No. So yeah, everybody gets all riled up, and they're like, I like this one guy's like, soccer's not a sport you play by yourself either. I'm like, well, you've not been watching Blue Lock. So everybody all gets to going on, and at first it seems like this guy is clearly getting riled up by all of it. Like, he's having a great old time and is seeming like he's pretty sadistic. So I don't know what his jam is about. I guess we're going to learn as we go. But it starts out, everybody just goes at it saying, don't underestimate Furin. And everything's going okay for the most part, except for the fact that there's just a whole lot of them. But there's just blood everywhere. Everybody's getting beat up. Nagato in this one shot, they did not have to go so hard making him look so good. They really didn't. But they are bound and determined to make him look like a Victorian waif that needs rescuing. So oh damn, Anzai just gets the crap kicked out of him. He goes up, Sakura builds like a little breakaway so that he can go up and get Nagato, and it just does not go well at all. And him going down those stairs, that was brutal. That was brutal. That you felt every step he went down. And Sakura, of course, is like, well, what the hell? That didn't work. So then the VIPs come down, and who's to join the party? Who starts this out? But why, look who it is. All right, it's Edward Elric. I am absolutely convinced. I don't know where that went, buddy. I'm absolutely convinced that the mangaka modeled this off of Edward Elric from Full Metal Alchemist, because the bangs are uncanny. The bangs, the face, the ponytail, it literally looks like him. Like, if he had a metal arm, I would believe it would be him 100% in a parallel universe. But yeah, it's definitely him. He's like, oh, y'all are smirking. I definitely think Sakura takes this personally. Sakura's big thing in this battle is that he's taking things very personal and not just focusing on getting Nagato back for the sake of Anzai, but Sakura is also taking it personally in how the other group is treating him in this fight. I'm like, you just gotta let that go, man. You can't control how they think of you. It's how you project yourself that kind of matters. So also not fair that he's using a pipe. A metal pipe is that's pretty not fair. So his name is, we're gonna get him. So basically Edward Elric. My nickname is Congo. Okay. Congo Takaru. Congo. Interesting. So he's fighting with Sakura. And he's like, your squawking is annoying. I never thought of these guys as like seagulls, but they are kind of like the Kamomedai of Windbreaker. Kamomedai is a team that is in Haikyuu who is seagull themed, and their colors are white and blue. And one of their characters looks a lot like the one guy that Sugi's facing. But yeah, it kind of makes sense because they're at a wharf where there's fish, and thus there are seagulls. So it all kind of makes sense. Interesting. So Kongo was up against Sakura. We're going to write that one down. And then this pretty boy is up against Suguru. Suguru, my dude, he's like, well, he says fist or weapon, one blow is one blow. I was like, and he holds a goal, huh? Oh, buddy, Suguru, you really need to record yourself. You know what? He's up against this pretty boy. He's like, the villain always loses. And I don't think Shiyu really sees himself as a villain. So the pretty boy, because he is attractive, is Kirishima. Kirishima Shiyu is him. He seems pretty no nonsense as it goes, but a brawler. Meanwhile, Sugi's like, I don't like your barbed wired covered bat that's being given off by Choji's cousin over here. And he's like, you're pretty nimble considering your size, and you seem like tough too. So we have this possessed child that's from Bungo Stray Dogs. So the guy that looks like the captain of Kamomedai's team, he is Mogami Taishi, and he is fighting Sugi, which that seems like an interesting matchup because he seems small and nimble like Choji, and Sugi appears cumbersome, so that's going to be interesting. Meanwhile, Kiryu is fighting this misogynist piece of crap, so that's fun. And he's like, you swagger like a girl. And he's like, actually, can you just say graceful? And he's like, so graceful are girls? Wow, that's really, really dated. How lame. Like, what are you, lame? So yeah, this guy who's Kaga Rinji. Kaga Rinji is just this, misogynist fighting Kiryu. I want Kiryu to beat the snot out of him. Please and thank you. He's just gross. Meanwhile, Suo is up against this guy that is mocking him the entire time by only having one eye open and one eye closed. I'm like, are we trying to like get rid of a handicap? What are we doing? His name is Tone Hanasuke, and he is keeping one eye closed, and he's fighting Suo. Okay, so that's our 5 VIPs, and they're all, it's just a brawl. I do love the animation, and I do love that Sakura's thing is, as he watches the one guy fall, Sakura, as we probably would suspect, is feeling a lot of responsibility in this match. He's like, I got all the first years together. I said, we're doing this for Bofriend. We're going to go get Anzai's friend back. I led the charge. And you can tell that Sakura does not want to be responsible for people to get hurt, because he's also not used to that. Sakura's always been a loner. So the fact that now he has people to watch out for, that's weighing on his mind as well. One thing, though, that I think Sakura is going to learn from this is that these guys are following you because they believe in you. And because you're their captain, they chose to follow you. They feel supported by you. If they get hurt, they're not going to blame you. They willingly volunteer to join you. So you're not going to get thrown under the bus, you know? And then he's like, why are you trying to cheat? Why are you trying to leave me? And then just gets smacked across the head. The blood that poured from his head. Oh my gosh. It's rough. And honestly, any head wound is just going to pour blood. Anytime you get a head wound, even if it's like a little cut, pouring blood. So yeah, Suo and Kiryu, when I saw these expressions, I was like, oh, this fight is kind of serious, because usually Kiryu's very carefree and does not have any, sense of like, oh, this is a problem. And this is a controversial opinion perhaps, but while I simultaneously do not want to see Suo ever look this distraught, it's also like the best he has ever looked. I was like, no, Suo, don't be a trauma makes me hotter character. We don't need that. No. But the leader of KEEL says that, the 5 main people, once they're together, they lead everything else. But once we start to break that up, they had the advantage because they were supporting the others. But once we, get that broken up, then it's just a difference in numbers. They're worrying about what's around them and can't show their true strength. He's like, I just love a one-sided pummeling. This guy's an asshole. This guy's just a jerk. He's just a jerk. I don't like him. We need to get rid of him next week. I don't like this guy. No, thank you. No. And then I will say, we don't know his name yet. We don't know the leader's name yet, but his voice actor being like, chirp, 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 that was really good. That voice actor he did a really good job with that. He's like, what a damn moron who brings chickens into a dragon's lair. I like that line. Chickens to a dragon's lair is really good. I like that a lot. So yeah, Furin is being overwhelmed. And Narai feels like Suo is being held back in the fight because of him. And he's like, I tagged along, but I can't fight. So I don't blame Narai for feeling like he's not pulling his weight and he wishes he could do more. I don't know if this will lead to Narai wanting to like train with somebody to be able to learn to fight. I don't know what's going to happen there, but I don't need to see Narai with this face. This precious bean. No. Nobody needs to see this. No. And he's like, even if I can't fight or protect myself. I love that he tries to I love this one guy who's just like, get off. Like, Narai's just doing what he can. He's trying to stop the fight, do what he can, and then just gets absolutely pummeled by KEEL. Nope. And so then I thought here's the thing. When we saw Sakura look over and he said he was sorry, I thought it was going to be Sakura coming in to like drop kick this guy. I thought that was going to be the case, but then he was too far away. So I'm like, well, what's going to end up happening? And oh no, he got knocked straight back into the wall. And everybody's like, oh, what just happened? What just happened was Kaji. Freaking mother trucking Kaji. I think when I mentioned Hiragi earlier, I was like, oh, it'll be the third years that come to the rescue. And Kaji's like, hold my non-alcoholic beer because I'm not of age. Did you forget about the second years? And I'm like, oh, no, actually. This is so good. Damn, he looked amazing. Kaji, like, if you're a Kaji fan, I see why. I get the hype. This man, you knew that Bakugo's voice actor wasn't just going to take on any role. Oh, no. Oh, no. He is basically like if Bakugo and Himmel combined. I love him. I love Kaji so much. And he just looked amazing this episode. So then we get our late start intermission. I like that we've had the little season 2 graphic. Someone told me, I think it might have been Sid in the Discord chat, but someone said there was a year in between season 1 and season 2. Y'all had to wait a year to get into this? Y'all are saints for waiting this long. Seriously. But poor Narai, he just looks so sad. And he's like, oh, Kaji-san. Yeah, and I love Inomoto. His voice reminds me of Sakuragi from Slam Dunk so much. He's like, a lot of y'all are beaten up. And then Kasumi, it makes sense that Inomoto talks so much. He's just... Kasumi doesn't say anything. I'm like, can Kasumi not say words? He showed his eyes for a hot second. I was like, oh. But I was like, does Kasumi not speak? Is he voluntarily mute or can he not speak? He's like, I'm glad we got here in time. And they're like, headphones and candy. Is that Kaji? I like that that's how he's known, by headphones and candy. That's hilarious. And they're like, get him fired up and he won't stop until the opponent's beaten to a pulp no matter what. Oh, so he's basically Chuya. He's Chuya from Bungo Stray Dogs, basically. Okay. Who's his Dazai? Maybe he doesn't have one yet. Yeah, so that's basically it. That's basically the comparison. But yeah, I like that Kaji is known in the sphere as the second year. Yeah, you can't tell. He says they're second years, but you could tell on the jacket there would be 2 stripes there, and that's how he would know. But he's like, I don't know how much of this fight's background story that you know, but you guys are a team that protect. I like this asshole tries to do some reverse psychology bullshit, and he's like, well, this fight's really not worth your time. Why are you guys here? I'm like, that's the logic of somebody that knows he's about to get his ass kicked is what that is. He's like, we just had some business over with his friend there. He's like, well, this has nothing, Furin has nothing to do with this. And for a second, everybody's like, yeah, we're getting our ass kicked. Why? To help Anzai? Like, why are we here? And then no, Kaji's like, no, we're here because we have business here. I was like, oh, bitch. And that lightning that comes off, he's like, this has something to do with us. Otherwise, why would we even be here? I love it. And yeah, everybody there, he's like you said, Beaufriend's a team that protects the town. He's like, I don't think you understand the scope of town. Town does not just involve the bakers and the bread makers and the shoemakers over in town. It also involves the friends of friends. And you're beating up a friend of a friend. So yeah, it is personal. And they are from Beaufriend. So yeah, you might want to hand them over. We protect everything. The people are our people too, and it's our job to protect it. God, Kaji looks so badass. He's so good. Sakura really. Also, one quick note. I think that it's interesting that Umamiya has the bright blue eyes and the white hair, and Kaji has the bleached hair that's white now and the blue eyes. Sakura has half white hair, but his eyes don't match either of them. So I just feel like, again, that ombre effect, right? Kaji looks so damn good there. And Sakura's just like, he's just like, I mean, why would you not think Kaji's amazing? Of course, Sakura's probably going to have a complex from this, and hopefully Kaji can be like, he does in this episode. And this guy's like, I don't get that at all. He's like, you really are a dumbass. I'm like, you should not be calling Kaji a dumbass when he's about to come up there and hand you it. And he's like, then that means, he's like, you know what kind of crap you guys got yourselves into? Our dude's screaming. I swear, Bakugo's voice actor needs to, like, rest their voice. And he's like, shut up. That's his only response. He's like, shut up. It's like, no, not at all. He's like, I made an effort to warn you, but I don't care. And he's like, why are you guys chickening out? Go on and fight. I'm curious why they follow him. Because Choji, it makes sense. With Choji, we find out with Shishitorin that the entire gang elected Choji to be their leader. So because they elected him, they would follow him. But I don't know what Keel's motto is. I don't know what Keel's like whole MO is. I don't know what they're doing with that. So I don't know what the end goal is and what we're supposed to do with that. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. And he's like, you guys, he's like, do you want to end up like him? I'm like, I feel like it's a Scar and the hyenas situation where Scar is telling the hyenas what to do and they just do it. But I'm like, in all reality, I'm like, you guys could turn on this guy and just walk away. Is this one man going to beat you up? Like, what? Why are you all afraid of him? I'm so curious. I don't know. Meanwhile, Kaji's like, I'm done. I'm done with all of this shenanigans. No more, please. And he's like, the three of us are going to just take care of all y'all. I love it. Kasumi, I want to see that shot of, yes, that shot of Kasumi with the hair out of his eyes. What, are him and Suo like cousins? Are they? They look so similar in this moment. So he's like, we're going to take care of stuff down here, and I'm going to go beat that guy up. Kaji's like, because I'm done talking to him. Meanwhile, Kasumi takes Narai outside, and this was so cute, where he's like, you're going to stay right here. And Narai's like, I can't understand you. Do you want me to just sit there? And he's like, That's so cute. The little chibi of Kasumi is kind of adorable. More Kasumi, please. More Kasumi. I do feel bad for Narai feeling pathetic. I feel like no matter how this battle ends, I feel like the following episode, which will be episode 16, the third episode, I feel like no matter how this ends next week, because I do think that it's going to hit a climax next week. Regardless, I think that both Narai and Sakura are going to be licking their wounds, and they're going to both feel kind of like, Sakura's going to feel like, I should have done more. I'm the captain. And Narai's going to be like, I shouldn't have put myself in danger. I should have been able to defend myself. I feel like they're going to have some commiserating to do next week. Meanwhile, Inamoto and them are like, we're going to support all y'all. So we get everybody fighting in this moment. He's like, we're going to support all of you. There's Suge versus his could-be boyfriend. There is Sugi versus this seagull. This human seagull. There's that. There's this guy who's a misogynist jerk that Kiryu is about to teach some feminism to. And then there is Suo, who looks not amused by this man mocking him by closing one eye. So we got that. Yeah. And then meanwhile, Sakura, as Kaji's like making his way downtown, walking fast, faces past he's homebound, diddly dee dee dee, like as he goes to him. Sakura gets mad because in this moment, I love Kaji's face there. God, they animate him so well. And when he's like, oh, that thing, I'm like, you called Anzai a thing instead of a person? This speaks a lot for Kaji in that just like Sakura, just like Umemiya, he like takes care of his own. He like sits him up and he's like, hey man. And then he's like, all right, I'll be right back. I can go take care of some business. But here's the thing. Sakura is like, that guy upstairs is mine, hands off. And Kaji's like, I think you've lost the plot, friend, but I'm about to teach it back to you. We're about to have a book report session here in just a hot second. Because yeah, Sakura is interpreting being a leader as I have to go face the boss every time, which is shonen logic as far as shonen has been concerned. It's always like whoever's the main character ends up fighting the boss, even when on paper logistically it doesn't always work out that way. It's like that's how it usually ends up. And so I love this idea that Sakura is like, well, because I'm the leader, that means I have to face the toughest person because that's what the leader does. And Kaji's like, no, that's not how it works. Even if you're the leader, your job is to take care of everybody else. It's not to fight the boss. You may not end up fighting the boss. You sent Anzai up there to get Nagato, but he could have fought the boss for you if he'd been capable. Your job is not to fight the boss. Your job is to take care of your people. And Kaji's like, I'm here to help you. Because when Sakura's like hands off and then this other guy is swinging around, that's when Kaji's like, we need to take care of some things. He's like, otherwise Sakura's going to get his ass handed to him. So he's like, no. He's like, we need to deal. And that's when Sakura's like, I need to deal with stuff on my own. That's why I'm going to do this. And Kaji's like, you're trying to take on too much by yourself. You're in a team now. So let your teammates help you. That like the fact that Sakura was about to punch him and, oh, what's his face? Congo looked over and saw Kaji like that. And he was like, look, do you realize the current situation? You've got to beat up this guy. Why are you focusing on anything else? Yeah, because then Congo comes up and as he goes to swing, oh, I love it. I love that Kaji's like, I'm about to kick you in the face if you don't move out of the way. I love that shot. That's so good. Yes. And it makes him back up. He's like, never mind. Hold on. And now these other guys are going to fight him. What is with this guy? And when Kaji takes the lollipop out, which if you look, the lollipop is about gone. When the lollipop's gone, that's when things are going to get ugly. And the lollipop's about gone. He's like, I came here to do two things. Suck on a lollipop and kick some ass. And the lollipop is about gone. So what's it going to be? That's when he's like, I'm talking to Sakura. So give me a second, will ya? He's like, you're only thinking of beating up him, huh? I like that Kaji's like, I'm about to make this a teachable moment, so I need you guys to shut up for a hot second. And then Sakura's like, well, of course I am. What's wrong with that? And I love that he just smacks him. He's like, you have lost the plot, sir. And here's the thing. Umemiya would have like gently sat Sakura down and been like, hey, I know. He like a soccer dad. He would have been like, hey man, I know. You want to go beat that guy up there, but we're a family and that's not how this works. Kaji is not a soccer dad. At all. Kaji is not near children right now. He's like, that look. He's like, are you a moron? That look. Oh, it's so good. Oh, the shading, everything. He's like, are you a moron? You're too worried about the guy up there that you're having trouble with this nobody. And I like the Congo's like, what do you mean nobody? He's not wrong. He's like, you need, and poor Sakura, like, Sakura just wants to be a good leader, and he thinks this is what he has to do it. He's just learning little bits at a time, and Kaji's like, this is not what you need to be doing, my friend. What is the first and foremost thing you need to do? You call yourself a grade captain, and you can't even save those guys. That's the thing. Kaji's like, focus on your crew, and let the others deal with it. Oh, don't show us Narai like that. No. Yeah, and all these guys getting beat up. And then Umamiya says, watch closely and help them out. Yep. Poor Sakura. He's gonna be nursing some wounds internally as well as externally after this fight, right? And he's like, well, I love this shot where he's like, I can't let him get away with this. I love that shot. And this response, oh my God, he's like, I can't let him get away. That's such a good shot. The way that the blood bisects Sakura's face and you can see how sad he is. And Kaji, he's like, what a coincidence. I love this. He's like, neither can I. Ah! God. Freaking, oh my God. Just so good. I'll go punch him for you too. Oh, I'm just living, y'all. Y'all. You do what you need to do. I'll take care of it. I'll do it for you. And then Sakura's like, well, since you're asking for my Santa Claus list, I was going to punch him 10 times. Over the nose. And Kaji's like, noted. Got it. At least 10 times. And Kaji's like, okay. So yeah, and then Sakura turns back to this man. Yep. And Sakura punching himself in the face is a very Sakuragi from Slam Dunk thing to do. I'm seeing the Sakuragi comparisons this week. It's great. He's like, I'm so lame. It's not even funny. Let's hurry on with it, Blondie. I don't have time to deal with you. I can't believe that's the episode. I cannot believe that is the episode. That went by so insanely fast, y'all. That's crazy. The thing I want to note in this episode that I think is pretty important to talk about is that there wasn't a lot of dialogue like what there normally would be in a match like this. Because Umamiya was like, when you fight people, you create a dialogue and you get to know them. If there are any dialogues happening in this episode, it's realizing that the Keels are a bunch of jerks. They're not really, like whenever Sakura fought Togami or any of the others fought, you saw this like communication and understanding that was between the characters. You do not see that in this episode because KEEL has no interest in creating a dialogue. They have no interest in communicating. It's just, we are just here to just fight. And so I will be curious to see if we get, now that we've established the one-on-ones and how that's going to go, if next episode, if we get any communication, but I don't know. But this episode being titled Rage is really fitting. So, whew! What a way to kick off season 2! What a way to kick off season 2! I'm just like floored, honestly. So, okay. I'm very curious to know your thoughts down below. Please no spoilers. Please no complaints about me not watching the OP until later. It's just the way it has to be. And I'm sorry, I'm not changing my mind. So please don't comment on that. But otherwise, I will get to see the OP and the lyrics, don't worry. But otherwise, I am so excited to play bingo with you all and see what we get in these episodes to come. Season 2 is off to an amazing start, and I can't wait. So anyway, I hope you all have an amazing week. Please stay safe, take care, and yeah, I'll be back very soon with more of Windbreaker. And I'll see you then. Bye.